Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is contemporary global governance with integration of COVID-19. This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as an educational material. So, our objectives: students can learn about the global governance with integration of COVID-19, and the students can learn what will be the effects of globalization on governments. Students can identify the institutions that govern the international relations and can also differentiate internationalism from globalism. And students can identify the roles and functions of the United Nations. And lastly, students can identify the challenges of global governance in the 21st century and can explain the relevance of the state amid globalization. To sum up about what you read in this slide, it means that public health events as the common concern faced by international community call for the joint response from all mankind. The corresponding approaches can be taken to improve the efficiency of the governance of global public health, including supporting the role of international organizations to achieve the objectives, enhancing coordination among international governance subjects to from synergy, promoting the compliance with IHR 2005 to avoid conflict of law application and upholding the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind to jointly respond to the special problems.
My topic is effects of globalization to the government. So, there are a lot of effects of globalization to the government, but we are more focusing on the COVID-19 pandemic or COVID-19 virus. So, during those years, during those days, we are more likely to adopt the international restrictions, something like using masks, injections of vaccines, um, border restrictions, travel restrictions, um, curfew, um, something like that. So, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the vast differences in approach to the control and containment of coronavirus across the world and has demonstrated the varied success of such approaches in minimizing the transmission of coronavirus. So, as I say, we minimize the coronavirus transmission by using masks, injections of vaccines, um, by following the restrictions or the instructions of the government. We uh, we minimize the transmissions of coronavirus. And during those years, during those days, the government implements some curfew to those people, to those minors, to those elders. They don't allow elders and minors to go out. They have curfew. They don't allow us to go out if it is 10 p.m. They allow us to go out if it is morning. So, ganun. Well, previous studies have demonstrated high predictive power of incorporating air travel data and governmental policies, responses in global disease transmission, modeling factors influencing the decision to implement travel and border restriction. Policies have attracted relatively less attention. Globalization thus has powerful economic, political, cultural, and social implication for sovereignty. So, globalization has led to a decline in the power of national governments to direct and influence their economies, um, and to determine their political structures. So, during the pandemic, government faced challenges as global supply chains were disrupted, impacting the availability of essential goods such as medical supplies. This led to increased emphasis on building resilient and diversified supply chains.
Institutions that govern international relations. Institutions that govern international relations play a crucial role in shaping the global political landscape. This includes the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, WTO, and the International Criminal Court of Justice, among others. They are designed to facilitate cooperation, resolve disputes, and establish norms and standards that guide the behavior of states. The United Nations, for example, is a global body that promotes peace, security, and cooperation among its member of states. It provides platform for dialogue and negotiation, helping to prevent conflicts and foster understanding. The World Trade Organization, or WTO, is crucial for maintaining a fair and open global trading system. It is one way of promoting economic growth and stability. The International Court of Justice, on the other hand, serves as the judicial branch. It settles legal disputes between the states and gives advisory opinions on international legal issues. These institutions have gained power and influence over time, impacting individual states' foreign policies. They are crucial to maintain international order and stability. The globalized international economy renders continual military power struggle illogical as a government rely on participation in the global economic system to maintain their survival. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the WTO has not been a central player in managing public health responses or providing immediate solution to the health crisis. Instead of the focus has been individual countries. International health organizations like the World Health Organization or the WHO and regional collaboration to address the healthcare challenges. That said, pandemic has underscored the importance of the international cooperation, coordination in various areas, including trade. Some discussion with the WTO have centered around ensuring the smooth flow of essential goods such as medical supplies, vaccines, across borders. Efforts have been made to avoid unnecessary trade restriction to foster collaboration in research and development.
Difference between internationalism from globalism. So first, Internationalism emphasizes cooperation and interaction between nations while respecting their individual sovereignty and uniqueness. It focuses on political, economic, and cultural collaboration through diplomatic channels to achieve common goals. The decision of other nations to cooperate with one another and political, economic, and cultural aspects for the promotion of the common good and welfare for the people known as the principle of internationalism. It promotes peace and security, self-determination, economic stability, and humanitarianism. For example, Olympics, United Nations, and ASEAN to unite the nations to create respectful internationalism. Globalism, on the other hand, globalism is an ideology based on the belief that people, goods, and information, both to be able to cross national borders unfettered. It is the attitude of putting the interest of individual nations, and the advantages of these are much like the advantages of technological improvement. They have very similar effects. They raise output in countries, raise productivity, create more jobs, raise wages, and lower prices of products. For example, a manufacturer assembling a product for a distant market and countries submitting to international law and a language adapting for foreign loan word.
Internationalism. Internationalism teaches that the people of our nations have more in common that they do difference, and thus that nations should be treat each other as equals. And goal of the internationalism is to unite all countries and actively oppose nationalism and war. For example, United Nations. Their mission is the maintenance of the international peace and security, to prevent conflict, helping parties in conflict make a peacekeeping, and creating the conditions to allow peace to hold and flourish. On the other hand, globalism is seeks to describe and explain nothing more than the world, which is characterized by networks of connections that span multi-continental distances. It attempts to understand all the interconnections of the modern world and to highlight patterns that underline them. For example, economic globalism involves long-distance flows of goods, services, capital, and information and perceptions that accompany market exchange. Social and cultural globalism involves movement of ideas, information, image, and of a people who carry ideas and information with them.
Despite these strides forward, the COVID-19 pandemic is not over, as the rise and dispersion of recent variants has shown. The world will continue to be at risk until more people are protected from the virus, especially in places with low vaccination rates. Beyond ensuring adequate supplies of vaccines, the UN Children's Fund, UNICEF, UN Refugee Agency, as UNHCR, who and other UN agencies are working to distribute vaccines and get get them into arms.
So, good day everyone. I will be presenting my topic, which is the functions of the United Nations. So the United Nations developed a large-scale response across its various agencies to combat the crisis. At the forefront of the response is the WHO, or commonly known as the World Health Organization, which is integrated within 150 health ministries around the world. In addition to providing scientific guidance, the World Health Organization has helped procure millions of pieces of PPE, or personal protective equipment, and other vital health commodities such as tests and testing supplies. As the lead agency in the UN Global Support Chain Task Force, WHO is working with the private sector, financing institutions like the European Investment Bank and the UN logistics partners like the World Food Programme, or the WFP, and UNICEF to establish an emergency supply chain for all low-resource countries around the world. WHO and the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs organized a humanitarian appeal for the most vulnerable countries, bringing together existing appeals from UN partners, as well as identifying new needs. So, overall, the UN serves as a central institution for global governance, facilitating collaboration, providing guidance and support, and advocating for the interests of all member states, particularly in times of crisis such as the COVID-19 pandemic. That is all. Thank you.
So, the last function of the World Health Organization during the COVID-19 pandemic is research and coordination. They are actively involved in coordinating with global treatment research to provide or to make a treatment or a vaccine for the COVID-19 pandemic or disease.
Good day everyone. I will be discussing my topic about the challenges of global governance in the 21st century. So, there is a global governance crisis as a result of global governments' failure to live up to the population's growing expectations for a safer and better future. The fact that international governance is a domain specific and that global governance organizations have limited legitimacy increase these difficulties. In the 21st century, there are many challenges facing global governance. So, there is conflict between national and international priorities as a result of the movement separate from a cosmopolitan approach to national development. Important turning points and calamities have occurred throughout the world, such the COVID-19 pandemic and the global financial crisis, which have brought attention to the need of efficient government. Complex global issues of the 21st century include economic inequality, climate change, and public health emergencies like the COVID-19. To move through these interconnected challenges, effective global governance requires cooperation, flexible institutions, and a coordinated response.
The relevance of the state amid globalization. The effects of globalization were operationalized in terms of mobility, economy, and healthcare system. The mobility of individuals and its magnitude was assessed using airlines and seaport trade data and travel information. The economic impact was measured based on workforce, events cancellation, food and agriculture, academic institution, and supply chain. Globalization has altered the way we live and earn a livelihood. Consequently, trade and travel have been recognized as a significant determination of the spread of disease. Additionally, the rise in urbanization and the closer integration of the world economy have facilitated global interconnectedness. Therefore, globalization has emerged as an essential mechanism of the disease transmission. The impact of COVID-19 on globalization and the relevance of the state amid these global crises are complex and multi-faced, affecting various aspects of international relations, trade, and public health. The interplay between the state and globalization in the context of COVID-19 requires a comprehensive understanding of the global dynamics and evolving role of the state addressing the global health crisis. Pandemic has also affected global higher education, trade, and travel, leading to a change in various aspects of globalization. The impact of COVID-19 on global economy and health system has been subjected of extensive research highlighting the interconnectedness of the state and the globalized nature of pandemic. The pandemic has also led to an expansion of state power and has become the arena of ideological competition. In additional information about this topic, globalization has various effects on governments, particularly the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has led to increased interconnectedness and the need for government to engage a global cooperation and governance. This includes a rise in the numbers of international organized which countries are members, making government more accountable in global arena and influencing their policies. Globalization has also been associated with political stability and reduced tendency for government to violate human rights in order to maintain power. However, globalization has also exacerbated inequalities, leading to a concern about its impact to economic disparity and political mistrust.
The consequences of pandemic are not defined in terms of morality but also by their impact on our daily livelihood and economy. With globalization accelerating this loss and costing billions in expenditures, pandemics affect the economy in terms of demand and supply. First, consumers and investors tend to lose confidence in marketplaces affected by the pandemic. So during pandemic, people and investors get worried because they're not sure about health and money, making them more careful with their decision making. Depreciating at the demand of the market, of the side of the market. Second, absenteeism and reduction in workforce negate the supply side. So in pandemic, when people are absent from work or there are fewer workers, it messes up the usual way things are done, causing problems with getting things and service smoothly. Lastly, public health and international response to pandemics affect economics and development policies in trade, travel, and health response. During a pandemic, the role of the state becomes crucial amidst globalization as it navigates the balance between protecting public health and sustaining economic activities. Governments play a key role in coordinating responses, implementing policies that addresses both national and global concerns, and collaborating with other states to ensure effective management of the shared challenges presented by the pandemic. So, in other words, world shaped by globalization, the role of the state has never been more crucial than during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, we explore the profound relevance of governments amid interconnected nations facing a common threat. The pandemic showcased a diverse array of national responses. Some countries prioritize swift and decisive action, while others face struggles in managing the crisis. The divergence emphasizes the unique role each state plays in protecting its population. Healthcare emerged as a focal point, revealing the vital role in the state of in safeguarding public health. Governments globally had to navigate uncharted territories, implementing measures to bolster healthcare infrastructure and ensure the well-being of their citizens. Economically, the pandemic triggered a seismic shift. States become key players in providing financial support to struggling industries and citizens. The interconnected global economy required governments to adopt strategic economy policies to weather the storm.
So, amid globalization, but during COVID-19, the relevance of the state has been emphasized as governments play a crucial role in managing public health, economic stability, and ensuring effective responses to the pandemic. States are pivotal in implementing measures, coordinating international cooperation, and safeguarding their citizens in a globalized context. The state's role in managing the COVID-19 pandemic within the globalized framework involves implementing public health measures such as lockdowns and vaccination campaigns to curb the spread of the virus. Additionally, states are tasked with addressing economic challenges, providing financial support to businesses and individuals, and managing the impact on global supply chains. Furthermore, the state's role extends to addressing socio-economic disparities exacerbated by the pandemic, as vulnerable populations are disproportionately affected. Effective governance becomes crucial in maintaining social cohesion, ensuring access to healthcare, and mitigating the long-term consequences of the crisis. To sum up everything, amid globalization during COVID-19, the state's relevance is evident in its responsibilities for public health, economic stability, international collaboration, and addressing social disparities to navigate the challenges and posed by the pandemic. So that's all. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have learned from our topic.